Yeah, for the first two.
You should just play the Rangers goal song and songs about New York.
No.
Yeah, you should.
Not a chance.
Yeah, you should.
Well, I kind of do agree that you should start the show off with the Rangers goal horn, because that's pretty.
Yeah,
that's
let's
pretty
do
cool.
it. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna turn.
Wait. No, I'm not doing the goal song.
Yes, you should do it.
No.
Popular demand. 2 versus 1.
That should have been the bet. Like that we advertised.
Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, guys.
Alright.
God damn, Brian, where the hell are you going?
Yeah, it should have been the bet. Like, next bet we do is gonna be like, we're gonna start off the show with the team song or whatever.
Yeah. Where did you go?
I'm not gonna have the internet. I'm gonna at least have SportsCenter rolling in the background.
Okay.
On mute.
Okay. All right. Well, so when we were waiting for you, Brian.
What's up?
When we were waiting for you, Sean and I were just talking about how hilarious the Barstool protest at the NFL office was.
Are they? Wait, that was Barstool?
Yeah.
They're the ones who got arrested? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
No way, of course.
Barstool, Boston, pretty much.
Oh my god.
The Red Sox writer, Carabas.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I loved it. It was the single most funniest 2 days in the history of Barstool Sports.
I should probably read that.
You need to watch the videos. The videos are the funniest
So
part.
the guys who got arrested by the police, those were all Barstool people, really?
Yes.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah. But it was pretty funny.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was funny. They were just sitting there, and they're stoolies that worked in that office building. Not necessarily for the NFL, but in the same office building.
Yeah.
And they were just asking if they could take pictures and stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, good job," and stuff.
That's funny.
And they actually spent the night in jail too, which is hilarious.
Of course, yeah, they got arrested. I just thought those were random people.
No, that's Barstool.
Of course it was Barstool. I should have just realized that from the start.
Alright, I'm gonna start the music off with Subterranean Homesick Blues by Bob Dylan. Very kind of a slow, sad
Good song. Good song.
Oh yeah, it's a great song too.
We could end on the Rangers goal song.
We should end on the Rangers goal song, because until the Rangers are eliminated, I'm going to be saying "Let's go Rangers" at the end of every show. So.
And it should.
Yeah, that's alright.
If you say "Let's go Rangers," it should be like the song where it starts with the chant "Let's go Rangers" and then goes into the song. I think there's that video.
It's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Alright, hold on. Alright. Everybody still ready?
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Alright. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Pulse. I'm Sean McNiff.
I'm Brian Brennan.
And I'm Ethan Winter.
And right now you're listening to Bob Dylan's Subterranean Homesick Blues. Because us Washingtonians are pretty feeling pretty bluesy right now with last night's festivities. Capitals were eliminated in overtime by the Rangers. Wizards dropped Game 6, I believe it was. Or no, Game 5.
Game 5, yeah.
by a last second putback by Atlanta Hawks Al Horford. But first, we're going to talk about Game 7, the Caps Rangers. Caps were up 3-1, and they just blew it.
Yes.
I knew, I had this gut feeling that they were just going to lose it after they lost Game 5. And,
this was the
or
first,
no, after.
This was the first time a team that was up 3-1 in the Stanley Cup playoffs lost a 7-game series.
You mean
First
this
time
year,
in the
right?
history of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What do you mean? Like,
In the I don't think so.
Or maybe it was the no, I heard it.
Because I saw.
well, the Rangers came back last year from a 3-1 deficit against the Penguins, so.
Oh wait, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the Rangers' second straight year of coming back from a 3-1 deficit.
But it was
the
the
second
first
round.
Yes.
thing. I don't know which one it was.
Well, I saw a tweet last night that said the Capitals are now make up 18% of the 3-1 playoff series. I don't know what it was, like upsets or whatever, like comebacks.
They've blown 3-1 leads more than any other team in the sport. I think I think they said it was like 7 or 8 times, something like that. It was some crazy number. They actually did it to the Rangers once a couple of years ago, but yeah, that was before the Rangers were this good. This series was a blast. Every single game was exciting from start to finish. I'm sad it's over. I could watch these two teams play 7 more games if the NHL would let that.
Brian, are you sure? Are you sure you're not gonna die of a heart attack if that happens?
Oh man, but it was just I don't even know because everything was so exciting in this series. Every single game was decided by 1 goal right down to the end. It was fitting that this series ended in overtime. The way it did, decided by 1 goal. It was really, in my opinion, one of the best playoff series I think I've ever seen. 2 very evenly matched teams. I think whoever ended up winning this series is going to go to the Stanley Cup Finals, and that was the Rangers.
Yeah, and I think I watched the third period, the end of the second, and pretty much the entirety of the third period, and the Capitals came close, man. Putting one in that third period. I thought they were going to. And even on the other end with the Rangers, especially towards the latter half of the third period.
Yep.
I thought the Rangers were going to get one by Holtby in regulation, but I mean both goalies were standing on their head in that third period, and I mean.
And you have to give more credit in the world to Braden Holtby than anybody who's ever lost a 7-game series. He was phenomenal throughout all 7 games.
Yes,
pretty much the only reason this series went to 7 games was Braden Holtby. He was outstanding every single game to stop the high-powered Rangers attack. And on the other side, you have to say the same thing about Henrik Lundqvist, who, I mean, I think I'm a little biased, but I think he's the best goalie in the world. And he was outstanding as well. There were times in that Game 7 where Washington just kept firing shot after shot after shot. And the one goal he did give up was a slap shot from Alex Ovechkin. I mean, there's not much you can do about that. I mean, that's one of the hardest shots to stop ever. Like that's just almost hard to beat. And when Ovechkin scored that goal last night, I remember thinking, crap. Like he made this guarantee. I thought he was going to score like 3 more goals after that because he made the quote unquote guarantee that they were going to win Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, which wrong team to do that against, buddy. We've got Messier, so yeah. You're not Mark Messier, buddy.
I did not actually watch the game yesterday. I didn't watch the Wizards game either because I was in the library. It's finals week for me. I have a dead week. But I forgot what I was gonna say. But I did catch the very end of the Capitals game, and I mean Holtby was just phenomenal.
Oh
For
yeah.
like the 5 minutes that I saw, he was absolutely phenomenal. Even the overtime goal that he let in, he was just scrapping all over the place, trying to use every inch of his body to stop that puck. But unfortunately, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're here.
I think Holtby established himself in this series as a top 5 goalie in the league. He was really outstanding, and when you have a performance like that against a high-powered attack like the Rangers, I think that's going to make Braden Holtby a star. And I think the Capitals will still be good next year. I don't think they're going anywhere anytime
Yeah.
soon.
Well,
Uh,
Holtby, when he first came into the league about, what was it now, 3 years ago
yeah.
at this point, it was a second round. I think it was a second round meeting with the Bruins, and he might have been a first round meeting. I'm not exactly sure which
Was
round, but
that
he
that was
was
the one?
fantastic against the Bruins, and he was the reason why the Capitals upset the Bruins, who were just coming off of a Stanley Cup
I
win the
was
year
gonna say,
before.
was that was the year they lost in Game 7
Yeah,
on the Joel Ward goal? Yeah.
yeah.
Hey,
I
Joe Ward.
Joel Ward's awesome.
Yeah, he was clutch this playoffs, too. He
Joel
was
Ward
very
is
clutch.
outstanding, and so is Evgeny Kuznetsov. He was really good. He scored more goals than anybody for the Capitals in this series. And, of course, Ovi was outstanding as well. He did struggle a bit in games 4, 5, and 6, but he was there in 7. He was there in 1 and 2. He skated by Henrik Lundqvist saying, "All series, baby, all series" in Game 1. I thought that was going to set the tone for a 7-game series. It did. I had a feeling when I found out it was going to be Rangers Caps that this series was definitely going 7 games. Like there was just no way that even when the Rangers were down 3-1, I still believed that the series would find a way to get to a 7th game at Madison Square Garden. And it did.
Honestly, I thought we were going to win Game 6. And after we lost Game 6, I kind of knew we were going to lose Game 7.
Did you
Yeah, I
think
was
that?
gonna say like Game 6 was the Capitals' chance
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
uh,
And
to
in
win the
the
series, but they blew it.
in the third period, the Capitals had more chances than any period in the series. They scored 2 goals in the third period of Game 6 and almost came back to win that game. And Henrik Lundqvist was just standing on his head. I think at one point they outshot the Rangers 31-0 or something, some crazy stat in that final period of Game 6. And that was probably a good indication to me that the Rangers were going to win this series, was that Henrik Lundqvist stood on his head for most of that third period facing a barrage of a Washington Capitals attack. And, yeah, I mean, at that point I kind of realized if they got it back to a Game 7, they'd probably win. But I mean, I was still nervous throughout the whole game. I mean, you have to be in a Game 7 situation, especially when
Yeah.
you're down,
Right.
especially after Ovi scored, you're down 1-0. You have to be cautious like that.
Even
Yeah.
even even if you're
Definitely
even
did.
even if in a Game 7, if you're up 3-0, you still have to be cautious.
Oh
Like you
yeah,
still like as a fan, you're still gonna be nervous watching the game.
Well, I
That,
mean,
that's what's so great about hockey too.
I love hockey.
yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, I think this was a game 7 or a game. No, it was Game 7. Bruins Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs were up 4-1.
The
10 minutes
Bruins came back.
third period, and
Yep.
then the Bruins scored 4 unanswered goals in
Yeah, I remember
regulation
that.
and overtime to win.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the. I mean,
You
I
know
was in
what's
Ireland, so I didn't actually get to see it, but that was one of the greatest uh, games in hockey history.
you know what's funny
Greatest
about that
comebacks in
game?
hockey history.
You know what's funny about that game is that the Rangers and Capitals were playing a Game 7 that night too, and this was the summer I interned in Greensboro. So I was at a bar watching the game because my apartment didn't get NBC Sports Network, so I went to a bar to watch the Rangers game.
Yeah.
And so the Rangers were up 5-0 at that point. In Game 7, and so I asked them if they would, I was like, okay, Rangers have this in the bag. Let's see who they're playing next round. So I asked the bartender to switch it over to the Bruins game, and the Maple Leafs were up 4-1, and I was like, okay, yeah, great, all right, looks like we're going to Toronto next round. And so I'm like, I start walking back to my apartment, and I check the scores, like 4-2. Oh, okay. I get back, I open the door, it's 4-3. I sit down just in time to watch the Bruins tie and win the game. So I remember that game pretty well, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, the NHL playoffs are absolutely fantastic.
They are. I mean,
And
outside of the NCAA tournament, the Stanley Cup playoffs are probably the most exciting.
I would agree with that. I mean, I'll even watch the Stanley Cup playoffs if the Rangers aren't in it. I mean, it's just that exciting.
Right.
Yeah.
Because every game almost, because both of the teams, it doesn't matter if you're a 1 seed or an 8 seed, nobody wants to lose in the playoffs. So that's why so many games go to overtime, and that's why it's so awesome.
Right. Moving on to the just the rest of the Stanley Cup playoffs in general. I mean, talk about the Montreal Canadiens. They were eliminated by Tampa Bay.
Yep.
I'm pumped that the Canadiens lost because they're a toilet bowl. Literally, their logo looks like a toilet bowl. I'm not.
It does. I was actually thinking that last night.
Yeah, it does. I never noticed that. That's fine.
I was really scared in that series because even when the Rangers were down 3-1, I was still pretty confident that they might come back and win the series, and I really didn't want to play Montreal if the Rangers did advance, just because Carey Price is so good, and I really hate playing in Montreal because every time they play in Montreal, I think, how can a city in Canada speak French and English? It just blows my mind, like every time.
Well, it's a house of horrors the Bell Center is one of the most difficult places to play, and the fact that the Lightning were able to win the first 2 games in Montreal, it really made me think, okay, I think the Lightning are going to win this game.
You mean the series?
Or win this series, rather.
Yeah.
And then the Lightning went up 3-0 in the series, but then the Canadiens win the next 2 games, and I'm like,
yes.
The Lightning have to win.
And I thought the Lightning.
If they don't, then they're screwed in Game 7.
I thought the Lightning were screwed in Game 6 because Ryan Callahan, one of their best players, a former Ranger captain, had an emergency appendectomy. And I was thinking, okay, well, Montreal has Tampa right where they want them. They already came back. They've already won 2 games from the 3-0 deficit. Now they're going to Tampa, which isn't exactly, when you think of the tough places, I might be eating my words here in a week or so. But when you think of the tough places to play in the NHL, Tampa isn't necessarily one of them. But especially because, teams like Montreal and the Rangers, they've got fans throughout the United States, and they can all snatch up tickets to those games. But I remember thinking Montreal has a legitimate chance to pull off the comeback here. So a lot of credit goes to Tampa Bay for winning that Game 6. They knew they had to win that Game 6 in Tampa. Like you said, otherwise they'd be in a lot of trouble going to Montreal. So
yeah, they would have done what the Caps did and lost Game 7 away.
Right, or like they would have done what the Bruins did in 2010 when they went up 3-0 on the Flyers, and then they lost the next 4 games.
Tampa is a very well-coached team. I think their head coach's name is John Cooper. He's won championships in the American Hockey League and another league. I can't remember which one it is. So he's working on
ECA or like EHL or something.
Yeah, something like that.
OHL.
Yeah, not the it was an American, some sort of, I don't even know. But he's won championships in the 2 minor leagues, and.
Brian?
He cut out.
Fuck, we lost him. But yeah, I mean, going back to what Brian was saying, I mean, the Lightning are a well-coached team. They also have a lot of good veterans. Steven Stamkos had an absolute snipe in Game 6. And Ryan Callahan, as he mentioned, but he
It
was
crashed
out.
on me.
What?
Whatever just happened, like for some reason the app just completely crashed on me.
Okay, that sucks. All right.
Well, good to have you back.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, and now that Carey Price has lost and is eliminated, Tim Thomas remains the only goaltender in the last 7 years or so to have won the Vezina Trophy and to play in the Stanley Cup playoffs, which I think is interesting.
You mean in the Stanley Cup Finals, right?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Well, Carey Price hasn't won the Vezina yet, but he's going to.
Right. When when you get to the Stanley Cup playoffs, it doesn't matter how much you score. It's all about goaltending. And the Vezina Trophy is given to the best goaltender in the NHL. But as we've seen, 6 out of the last 7 Vezina Trophy winners, or eventual Vezina Trophy winners, did not make the Stanley Cup Finals, which is really interesting to me. And it's all about the hot goaltender in the Stanley Cup playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, it really is.
And Ben Bishop was hotter than Carey Price in this series.
Right.
I mean, Ben Bishop's come out of nowhere to become a star in this series. He was really outstanding in Game 6 and really in the series as a whole. And he is, he's not really a star, but I'm nervous as a Rangers fan going into the Tampa series because they have very solid players. Steven Stamkos is one of the best players in the league. I mean,
Right.
He is outstanding. And they have Tyler Johnson. They've got like 6 former Rangers. So there's a little bit of a fittingness to this series that
Right.
not only is Marty St. Louis playing his former team, but so is Ryan Callahan, Antoine Strawman, Brian Boyle, all those guys on Tampa. And so I like this series. This is a series I always kind of wanted as a Rangers fan. To be honest, it's the original 6 team versus the team with the expansion team that somehow has already won a Stanley Cup. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens there.
And then now looking at go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say, the Rangers have a lot of firepower, the Lightning have a lot of firepower, so it's going to be a great game. But I think ultimately the Rangers are going to pull it out just because, like you said, it's all about the hot goalie. And King Hendrick is hot. He is scorching hot.
Yeah,
not only is he hot,
I would have to agree with that. And the Lightning have had a few days to rest now, so I mean it will be interesting to see if that will help them or hurt them in the sense where they're rusty. But I think the rest will, because the Stanley Cup playoffs are so grueling, I think the rest is actually going to help the Lightning.
Yeah.
And it's not like they swept the Canadians and have been off for an entire week.
No, they've been ready to play.
They might sneak up on the Rangers and steal Game 1 from them in Madison Square Garden. So you guys better watch out for that.
Kind of like the Caps did.
Yeah, and now talking about the Western Conference, we have the Blackhawks and Ducks. I mean, really, it's not really a surprise. This series isn't a surprise to anyone.
Yeah, exactly.
They're clearly the 2 best teams in the Western Conference. I mean, the Blackhawks have the experience. The Ducks have won the Stanley Cup before, but they've been a little disappointing the past few years up until this point. They've had a lot of talent, but just have never been able to either make the playoffs or make a deep run in the playoffs since they won their last Stanley Cup. And I believe it was 2010, I think?
2007, I think. Whatever.
Yeah, 2007.
It's been a while.
I
think most of the guys from that Ducks championship team don't play for them anymore.
Right, exactly.
Teemu Selanne, the Niedermeyers. I don't think any of them actually play anymore for the Ducks.
Has
Jiggy.
retired since.
Yes. Good old Jiggy.
But I think it will be a really interesting series. If I had to pick one right now, a winner, I would say the Blackhawks, just because they have the experience.
Yes.
They, I haven't really watched a lot of Anaheim Duck games because they're on the
Can't say
West
I
Coast.
have
They play
either.
at night at 10 p.m. every night, and plus it's out of market.
Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot about the Ducks. Um, I think does Corey Perry's still on the Ducks?
Oh yeah, Corey Perry's still a beast.
Yeah,
They're
but I
pretty good.
mean, you got Taves, Hossa, Kane, all on the Blackhawks, and even they have Carcillo too, who's a workhorse and a grinder. Um, so I mean, to me, the Blackhawks have just too much offense, and since they made that switch with Corey Crawford taking him out, the goaltending has been fantastic.
Indeed. If I had to pick right now, I would say it's going to be an original 6 Stanley Cup Finals. I think it's going to be Blackhawks Rangers,
Yeah.
and I think that the Blackhawks, just simply because of the postseason experience, are going to get it done here. Jonathan Toews is probably the best leader in not just hockey, but one of the best in all of sports. I mean, he's a proven leader. He's a great captain. I can't say enough about Jonathan Toews. He is a tremendous hockey player, one of the best in the league. Patrick Kane had a tremendous year. He just gets better and better every year. He's already got 2 Stanley Cups. Most of the guys on this team already have 2 Stanley Cups.
Right.
And so I think that the experience will show. I wouldn't be surprised to see Anaheim win this series, but I think that Chicago ultimately, when it's done and dusted, is going to win this series in either 6 or 7 games.
Yeah.
So we're all on the Blackhawks train?
Yes.
I would say so, yeah.
Bandwagon? Yeah, me too. I mean, just because they have experience, way more experience than the Ducks do, and also because of Patrick Kane, he's just a beast, and you need somebody that can just take control of the team and get some goals when need be.
Right.
Now, obviously, I want the Rangers to win the Stanley Cup, but if the Blackhawks do win the Stanley Cup, nice sight to behold is always Patrick Kane drunk at the victory parade. So if they do win the Stanley Cup, it's not all bad.
Yeah. Well, let's just move on.
Rangers, Blackhawks.
Yeah. To the NBA playoffs now.
Where amazing happens.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is actually one of the times where that slogan has actually rung true for the NBA.
Finally.
Well, it depends on who you're rooting for, but yeah.
I mean,
Because if you're rooting for the Wizards, last night was the absolute opposite of amazing.
My team didn't even make the playoffs, Sean. So.
My team got swept by LeBron, so.
Brian, your team is going to have the number 1 draft pick.
Bold prediction there, Sean. I hope you're right.
But anyway, I mean, especially the Eastern Conference has been amazing. I mean, the Wizards, unfortunately for Sean, lost on another last-second tip-in.
Horford.
By Al Horford.
After Paul Pierce looked like he was going to be the hero again, the truth. But then Al Horford took that dream away. And now the Hawks are up 3-2. LeBron.
So do you guys think if we lose this series, Whitman could still get fired, even though he made it to the second round?
Yeah.
I just don't think he's a very good coach.
In the other series in the Eastern Conference,
Well, but real quick.
Okay.
Real quick. John Wall played 37 minutes last night.
With a broken
37.
hand.
Yeah, with a broken wrist / hand / his whole right arm or left arm or whatever it is messed up. He played 37 minutes, and Ramon Sessions played 17 minutes. Like, that's just terrible coaching.
Yeah, I would agree.
Absolutely terrible.
But in Randy Whitman's defense, and I don't defend Randy Whitman a lot, they kind of need John Wall if they want any chance to advance in the second round.
Yeah, but I mean,
no, they don't. They're playing the Hawks. The Hawks aren't that good.
If John Wall,
Hawks are up 3-2 on the Wizards
last night, but if John Wall is ineffective, like because he is playing one-handed, then you might as well just put his replacement in because he's probably just going to do just as well, if not better, than an injured, ineffective John Wall.
I think John Wall ended up playing okay last night, right? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think his stats weren't that terrible.
Yeah, he got 15 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds, and 4 steals, too. So,
I think, to Sean's point, like, if you're going to have an injured John Wall playing, you shouldn't be playing 37 minutes. You should be playing closer to 30 at the most and kind of give Ramon Sessions a chance to prove himself.
Yeah, he was playing good this series. I don't know why he only played 17 minutes last night.
That was surprising. Sessions playing well.
Is a three-point threat, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's improved a lot from his Bobcat days, that's for sure.
Yeah. But, so...
Well, also, we only played 8 players last night.
Well, in the NBA playoffs, you're showing your bench anyway.
Well, yeah, but Drew Gooden only played 12 minutes, and Ramon Sessions only played 17 minutes. So basically, we played 6 people. 6.5, maybe.
Pretty bad.
I don't...
But you said that the Hawks...
I just don't understand.
Two things to say, Sean. One, the Wizards do need John Wall. They need a good, effective, healthy John Wall to win this series because in history shows the Wizards are 11-40 without John Wall in the starting lineup since he was drafted by the team. That's Knicks bad. I mean, you need you need a healthy one of those. It was 10-4. It was like 10-40 until they won the game with the Paul Pierce buzzer beater a couple days ago. And two, I've completely forgotten my second point, so I'll stick with the first one. You need a healthy John Wall to really have any chance in this series. And you said that the Hawks aren't good. The Hawks are good. The Hawks have a very loaded starting 5. They have a very loaded bench. They are a good team. So you need John Wall to beat the Hawks.
But they're not the Clippers and not the Spurs.
I didn't say they're the Clippers, but I think the Hawks, for the Eastern Conference, the Hawks are pretty good.
I think
yes. Yeah, for the Eastern Conference.
I think the Wizards still have a chance in the series because they have the truth who will keep them in the game, even without a healthy John Wall.
Yeah.
And he always has that dagger factor.
Yeah.
You can just rip the life out of an opposing team with a buzzer beater or a big shot. So,
that's another problem with the Wizards. Paul Pierce is our go-to guy. 40-year-old Paul Pierce is our go-to guy, and that's just that's not good.
He's shown in this playoffs, and he's like 36, but he's shown in this playoffs that he still has it. So
yeah, he does still have it, but he's not the guy anymore.
Yeah, you don't want your team to be carried by a 36-year-old.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be the guy. He's more of a complimentary player at this point that you put in late key game situations.
Robert Horry type. That's what he should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
But I don't think there's any chance that the Wizards are gonna win the championship this year. So what my hope is that they lose this next game and Whitman gets fired and they hire Mark Jackson and Kevin Durant comes next season and then we all win a bunch of NBA finals the next 5 years. That would be fantastic. That's like the dream right there. But I know that's not going to happen because I live in Washington and I'm a Washington fan. That never happens in Washington.
Yeah, well, I mean, people in Cleveland could say the same thing, but
exactly.
And speaking of Cleveland, they're in another fantastic series. This time it's with the Chicago Bulls.
Yep.
Back and forth, the series has gone. You've had
Absolutely.
beaters um, by Derrick Rose and a buzzer beater by LeBron, and that buzzer beater from LeBron was like incredible.
I know.
And the Wizards, and the Cavs almost blew it too.
Yeah.
David Blatt almost called it almost Chris Webber at the end of the game.
Yeah,
He tried to call it timeout and he didn't have any.
I mean,
like, how dumb can you be?
LeBron overruled David Blatt's original play call.
Well, I guess he did, but like that's so like rude to your coach to tell the press that his say doesn't mean anything to you. Like
that's
so
LeBron.
rude.
What do you expect?
That was so rude by LeBron.
The press that LeBron scratched his play.
No, LeBron told the press that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, in fairness to LeBron James, LeBron James has 2 championships and has been the best player in the league since he came in. And this is David Blatt's first year as an NBA head coach. So I kind of, if I were the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think I'd listen to LeBron James too.
Yeah.
Right. But as
from Maccabi Tel Aviv in Israel and
yeah, exactly.
Right, but as the two-time NBA champion, you should know not to tell the press that you overrule your coach.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
No, yeah, totally.
He should have kind of kept that in-house.
Especially with this being a LeBron James team, the media scrutinizes, including a certain cable company that broadcasts sports.
Network?
Yeah, that broadcasts sports quite a bit. They like to run with that type of thing. So.
Right.
So that was probably a dumb decision by LeBron. Everybody likes to say LeBron doesn't need a coach, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
That was probably pretty dumb by LeBron. But in fairness to him, I do understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
I think he knows how to win a championship a little bit more than everybody else on that roster.
Right.
Hard to believe I'm saying that. I didn't think I'd be saying that 5 years ago, but.
Yeah. Now with the Cavaliers and the Hawks up 3-2 in their respective series, I mean, I think who do you have? Do the Bulls still have a shot? I think we kind of already went over the Wizards, whether they still have a shot, but
yeah, I think the Bulls still have a shot. They're going back to Chicago for Game 6, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Bulls win Game 6.
I think so too, and they'll go to Game 7, and it's either whether LeBron chokes or not in Game 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
he hasn't really done a whole lot this series either.
Yeah, I think this series is going 7. The Bulls Cavs series has been the best series in the entire playoffs.
Agreed.
So far.
No, wait.
No, the Wizards
about
Hawks series has been fantastic as well. I don't think blowouts in that series.
I don't think any series the rest of the playoffs is going to top Spurs Clippers round 1, but this one's been pretty good.
Yeah.
Spurs this is a very close number 2, but the Spurs Clippers series was absolutely fantastic.
I mean, I think the Bulls will win Game 6 in Chicago, and then anything goes in Game 7.
I would agree.
Yeah, hopefully they'll go to Game 7.
Especially with Cleveland's sports history not being the best, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised to see the Cavaliers blow this one in 7. But
right.
I think the series is going 7-2, and I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if the Wizards Hawks series goes 7 also, simply because Game 6 is in D.C.
Right.
And, it's really hard to... And the Wizards really did almost win Game 5. So
yeah.
They should have won Game 5. And so I think that they legitimately have a chance to win Game 6 and force it to a 7th. Which would be sweet. It would be really sweet to see these 2 Eastern Conference series go to a 7th game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Wizards, they just could have easily won this series in 5. If you really think about it, because Paul Pierce had buzzer beater shot that didn't go in game 4, and then in game 5 he made a last second shot as well, but Al Horford had a tip in on the last second that beat that. So
Yeah.
um, really, I mean, the Wizards just as easily could have already advanced to the Eastern Conference Finals
You
as
know
they
what's
are now.
you know what's funny is that Game 3 of the Wizards Hawks series reminded me a lot of Game 6 of the Rangers Capitals series, in which Washington kept firing not Washington. Atlanta kept firing shot after shot. They came back. They scored like 17 unanswered before the Pierce buzzer beater.
Right.
That was a great game. That was crazy. That was
Wizards were up 19 points going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, they blew it. They almost blew all of it. But then Paul Pierce called game.
That's another problem with the Wizards. They can't
post-game comment ever.
Yeah, it really is. They do have their post-game comments down, but like the other problem with the Wizards is they can't close out games. Like all season, they haven't been able to close out games.
Yeah, now let's go to the West.
Yeah, we have 2 other series in the Western Conference. They're also 3-2. Golden State up 3-2 against the Grizzlies.
Yep.
And the Clippers up 3-2 against the Rockets.
It's going to be a California Eastern or Western Conference final. I'm calling it now.
I would agree.
There's a very good chance of that, but the Grizzlies are going back to Memphis for Game 6. So, home court advantage, they might pull it off and force a Game 7. And as we said before, anything goes in a Game 7.
Could you have seen?
I think the Warriors. I think the Warriors are gonna close it out in Game 6.
I agree.
Yeah, it's difficult to close out games on the road, but I really think. I mean, the Warriors beat the Grizzlies by 20 points last night.
Yeah. And Tony Allen's out. I mean, Tony Allen is the key to the Grizzlies' success.
Yeah, Tony Allen is the Grizzlies' best defender, and he's out.
Yeah, you can't expect to win a series where you are going up against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and all those shooters, like all those great players, Iguodala, David Lee, Bogut, and expect to actually win the series without your best defensive player. I mean, and it showed last night. They lost by 20 points. I mean, I've always kind of had a soft spot for Memphis since they beat San Antonio as the 8th seed a couple of years ago, and they've just gotten better and better since then. But I don't think they have any chance. I still think Golden State wins this one in 6. I'm surprised it even went 6, to be honest.
I wouldn't say I'm surprised that this series went 6, at least 6. But I would be surprised if Golden State does not close it out. And then real quick, the Clippers series. I think that game has a chance to go 7, but Game 6 is in LA, so the Clippers have a good shot to close that series out as well.
Yeah, Clippers are up 3-2, and they're going back home for Game 6. So
if you guys,
I think they'll close it out.
If you guys haven't read the Deadspin's been doing these oral histories on the Clippers back when they were bad, and I mean really bad, when Donald Sterling owned them in the 80s and the early 90s. They've been doing these oral histories on the Clippers, like what it was like to play for them, what it was like to be a head coach. They've interviewed so many people. It's really good. I'll send you guys a link. You should read it, and it'll make you appreciate what the Clippers are doing right now, being one game away from going to their first ever Western Conference Finals even more. You guys have been following the DeAndre Jordan thing where they pretty much just intentionally foul him every time he gets the ball because he's so bad from the free throw line.
Yeah, hacking whoever.
Or hack-a-shack.
Yeah, they're hack-a-shacking DeAndre
But
Jordan.
Adam Silver's actually contemplating outlawing that.
They should.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I think it's stupid.
Right. Just because it prolongs the game. No one really wants to watch teams shoot free throws.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's just
especially
it just
players who are
bores the
grabbing
game.
the line.
exactly, it
Yeah,
messes up with the rhythm of the
it
game.
just
Now,
it just bores the game and just makes it.
yeah, if Silver does outlaw it, what do you think the penalty would be? Would it be the other team gets free throws and the ball back, or would it be a technical for like unsportsmanlike conduct or something, or
I
flagrant
don't
Well,
even
even?
know.
it'll be like a flagrant or like an intentional foul or something like that,
Yeah, it'd just be an
and
intentional foul. It seems
Yeah,
like.
like you probably get free throws in the ball back or something.
yeah. All right.
I think it's a good idea to outlaw it, though.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah. All right. So now we
All right,
have.
all right, hold on. Before you start, let me first say, and for those who aren't watching, which is everybody,
Mm-hmm.
we're about to talk about Deflategate and Tom Brady being suspended for 4 games and the Patriots being fined for $1 million and two
Lost two
draft
draft
picks.
first.
Let me just say that I do not care about any of this.
Agreed. Same here.
I don't care about deflated footballs. Patriots were caught cheating once again, so they're penalized more heavily. I don't know what Tom Brady's role in the whole thing was, but it just sounded like he was the one orchestrating the whole thing. So yeah,
All right.
yeah, and
Well,
also, this the NFL is not a democracy. It's not the government. Um, so
but we're in America.
obviously it is a dictatorship. And within their organization, obviously it is a dictatorship because a democracy wouldn't work in the NFL. So I just don't see how people are so riled up about this. Maybe you can enlighten me, Ethan.
What? I
Maybe
will
you can enlighten me. Maybe.
So first off, the Wells report. It's a shoddy report. There's so many holes, more holes in it than the freaking Titanic. And I didn't get a chance to read the whole Wells report, but I read a good portion of it. Um, First off, Exponent, the science firm that the Wells report issued, has a history um, of manipulating scientific results to fit their clients' needs.
Who Ted Wells does?
This is the same firm that
Oh,
claimed
the
that
firm. Okay.
asbestos and secondhand smoking doesn't cause cancer. Um, and when they did their I guess science experiment, they measured 11 Patriot footballs to Colts 4 footballs, which is not a complete science experiment. If this was a school science fair project, it would get an incomplete, not even an F, because of how bad it is. So also, in regards to measuring the PSI levels in a football, they used two gauges. One was a Wilson gauge that is designed to measure Wilson footballs, and another was a generic gauge. And Walt Anderson, to his best recollection, remembered using the Wilson gauge, but the NFL and the Wells report questioned his best recollection and said, "Are you sure? Are you sure that you used the Wilson gauge?" And he said, "Well, I'm pretty sure, but it is possible that I might have used the other one." So, and this is the same Walt Anderson who they they accepted his best recollection of all the footballs measuring at 12.5 psi for the Patriots, and all Colt footballs at 13 psi. So they're picking and choosing when to use Walt Anderson's best recollection.
Who's Walt Anderson again?
He was the head official, head referee.
Oh, right. That's right.
And also another thing with the gauges, they choose which gauges to use So to support their evidence or their opinion that there was possible tampering. Now, I'm not saying that there wasn't possible tampering because we don't know what the hell happened in that bathroom, but you can't use the readings on two different gauges. If they use the same reading for the before at halftime and then after the game, then the Patriots footballs would have lost the acceptable range of PSI levels if through the ideal gas law. But they used the high gauge for before and then the low gauge for after, so that made it seem like there was possible tampering. Third off, with the text messages, the text conversation that they used aren't complete and lose context. The him, when they refer to, hold on, let me bring it up real quick. The him, when, oh shit, hold on. Yeah, so the him when they're talking about the footballs, like in the report it says McNally says Tom sucks. I'm going to make that next ball a freaking balloon. Jastrzemski said talk to him last night. The him in that is actually referring to Bill Belichick, not Tom Brady.
So doesn't that mean that Bill Belichick's guilty too?
Well, the whole conversation now, it doesn't necessarily put the Bill Belichick in a good light. But this is the whole conversation, and this is in a joking tone. So keep that in mind. McNally, Tom sucks. I'm going to make that next ball a fucking balloon. Jastrzemski, LOL. Hey, so when are you going to have that camera set up for Bears practice? McNally, oh hell. Now Belichick is whining too. And then Jastrzemski said, sorry, McNally. Well, you tell that goon that I used the rest of the tape on the Jets last week. Got a few more extra rules, but I need to delete some footage first. Jastrzemski, talked to him last night. He actually brought you up and said you must have a lot of stress trying to get them done. McNally, and I'm guessing you said it was my fault? Jastrzemski, I told him it was. He was right, though. McNally, okay, fine. So now what's Tom bitching about? So, like I said, the conversation doesn't necessarily make the Patriots look good anyway, but it provides some context and clears up that they're not referring to Brady in that text conversation. And then fourthly, actually, if the PSI levels of footballs are so important, why did the officials in the Patriots game against the Jets on October 16th given to the Patriots at 16 PSI? So that tells me that the NFL and the officials don't really care about the PSI levels. And so, just
neither do I.
Long story short, to summarize my opinion and feeling and belief, is that there's no direct evidence that Tom Brady directed McNally or Jastrzemski to deflate the footballs below 12.5 PSI or after the officials checked him. So, to me, that is not enough evidence for the NFL, if any evidence really, for the NFL to suspend Tom Brady 4 games. Now, do I think there might have been some shady business going on? Yes, I think it's possible. And because of that, and because of the Patriots' history with quote-unquote cheating with Spygate, I think the penalty should have been Tom Brady should have been fined $100,000, no suspension. The Patriots fined, let's say, $75,000 to $100,000, and lose a fourth-round draft pick. Not a
Now,
first-round draft pick, but a fourth-round draft pick.
now,
The Patriots got fined $1 million, 40 times the amount that it states as a penalty for violation of these rules in regards to the footballs of $25,000 is absolutely ridiculous.
now, would you be saying that if this was, I don't know, let's say Ryan Tannehill got caught deflating footballs, do you honestly think you'd be saying that Ryan Tannehill shouldn't be suspended? Let's
Absolutely.
say let's say, oh, come on.
I'm
Ryan
serious.
Tannehill.
I'm
let's
serious.
say Ryan Tannehill.
When I read that report, and when I first read when it first came out, a suspension didn't even cross my mind. Aaron Rodgers openly admitted on the CBS broadcast that he likes to overinflate the footballs and see if the officials take any air out of them. And if the officials do, he gets mad. Now, I do not think...
You didn't say he got mad.
This was Aaron Rodgers. I do not think he should be suspended at all. I think it should be a fine.
If Tom Brady is innocent in all this,
yes,
then why didn't he hand over his phone?
Okay, so that brings up a sixth point.
Oh my God!
Tom Brady is not just a regular football player. He is a celebrity with a supermodel wife. He has celebrity friends, and he has sensitive information on his cell phone that he does not, or laptop that he does not want to risk getting leaked out to the public. And once again, the NFL leaked out so much information during the investigation. I don't blame him for not giving his cell phone.
But that's why he was suspended, is because he didn't give away any information. Like, it's just that...
Okay,
like,
listen to this, Brian, though.
Sounds like he was insubordinate.
Brian, just listen. So with that, they got information from both McNally and Jastrzemski. If there was any communication between Brady and Jastrzemski or McNally, it would have been on Jastrzemski's phone. So Brady's phone is kind of irrelevant.
It's just I don't think it's right of him. Like, he withheld information. I mean, that's why he got
I don't think that he withheld information. Now,
why wouldn't he give his phone?
But
if
he is exercising his right under the CBA to not have to hand over his cell phone or
I'm just saying,
electronic communication.
I'm just saying, if he didn't have anything to hide, he would have given them the cell phone. That's all.
Well, I actually don't blame Tom Brady for not giving them his cell phone, because there's like a bunch of private information on your cell phone.
Right.
I don't know. I didn't read the report. I like I said before, I really haven't cared about this thing at all. So I don't know what exactly they were looking for on his cell phone, but I don't know. I wouldn't give them my cell phone. But Ethan, your radical group's whole motto is "They hate us because they hate us," correct?
Yes. I'm wearing that shirt.
Your radical group. Like ISIS.
So, can you please explain to me why the NFL would tarnish the reputation of the league's maybe best quarterback and the league's obviously best team? Can you please explain to me why they would tarnish their reputation?
Honestly, it doesn't make any sense to me why they would do that, but...
So why do you think they are? Okay. I don't understand. I just don't understand.
There's people in the NFL office that Mike Kensel, who was a former Jets employee, Roger Goodell was a former Jets intern. So there's sentiment within the NFL office.
So you think the NFL is biased?
Yes. basically, that's basically what I'm saying. I think there's an anti-Patriots
Even though Roger Goodell
bias
is like
in
best
the
friends
NFL
with Robert
office.
Kraft. Even though
What?
he's like best friends with Robert Kraft.
Not anymore.
Well,
And
that's
Okay.
Roger Goodell is in anyone's back pocket. It's Biscotti
who's that?
for that joke of a suspension given to
Steve Biscotti. Isn't
to
that the Ravens owner?
Ray Rice.
Oh, the Ravens owner, yeah.
Yeah. If Robert Kraft is in, or if Roger Goodell's in anyone's back pocket, it's Steve Biscotti.
I still
also-
don't understand why the NFL would tarnish the reputation of the league's best team. Like,
Yeah, it's just
it's like your argument is that
There's an anti-Patriot sentiment in the NFL office across the league. I mean, I think, and because the reason for that sentiment is, I think it's because the Patriots are good. They're won 4 Super Bowls in the last 15 years. They're constantly in the hunt for the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, and they're doing this in a league that's designed for parity, and people are just sick and tired of the Patriots win. It's like how people hate the Yankees because they've won 27 World Series, Brian. So, and also in another point that I'd like to mention now, people said that Brady lied when he said he doesn't know McNally, but both
100%.
McNally and Jastrzemski said that Brady knew him. Teddy Bruschi, Scott Zolak, Willie McGinnis, former Patriots, have all said that they have no clue who the name Jim McNally is. But if they showed you a picture of McNally, they would have been like, "Oh, that's Bird." So I don't think Brady knows the name Jim McNally, but I think he knows the officials' locker room attendant as Bird. So I don't think he was necessarily lying in that when the NFL asked him about McNally.
I just think that I think that eventually he's going to get his suspension reduced. On appeal.
I think there's a good chance that Brady's suspension gets overturned completely.
I think that would be ridiculous, but I
don't think it would be, because if you look at the evidence or lack thereof, there's nothing that would justify a 4-game suspension or any suspension for that.
They did it because he was insubordinate. That's all I'm saying.
So fine him $100,000. That's still 4 times more than the actual suggested fine in the rule book for this.
If Tom Brady's so pissed, he should just sue the league. Sue the league. If he's
that's what he's doing, and Robert Kraft is seriously considering suing the league as well.
Are they really suing the league?
Brady has hired Jeff Kessler to appeal and take the NFL to court, and Robert Kraft is seriously considering suing Roger Goodell and the National Football League. Yes.
This is outrageous.
I mean,
it's so dumb.
The Patriots and Tom Brady have a good case for, at least Tom Brady has an excellent case for defamation of character against the NFL. The Robert Kraft and the Patriots organization have a decent chance, not as good as Brady has, but the $1 million fine and a loss of a first-round draft pick is absolutely ridiculous.
Have you donated to the GoFundMe account yet?
No, I'm not that crazy, because I realize that Robert Kraft doesn't need the GoFundMe.
It's so stupid.
But
that's the dumbest thing that's come out of this.
The GoFundMe account is more symbolic than anything.
It's the dumbest thing that's come out of this.
It's a
Robert Kraft's net
not actual.
Robert Kraft's
they've already raised
$10,000.
$10,000.
That's so dumb. That's just retarded. I hate using that word, but that's just. In fact, take that out, Sean. I can't. Don't. Yeah, but that.
Brian thinks it's dumb. Now, what I would like to know is what you think of the penalty. Do you think it's too harsh? do you think it was right on the money, or do you think it's
I think I was surprised at how harsh the penalty was. I was surprised that Tom Brady got suspended.
I
I
wasn't
was I
surprised.
was I was surprised they got penalized the first round draft pick, probably the most.
yeah, I would
But
agree with that.
at the same time, this is the Patriots. And they have a history of cheating,
Right.
and if the commissioner thinks that they were most likely cheating in an AFC Championship game and in games prior to that,
Yeah.
um,
Well,
obviously they're gonna penalize them partially.
Yeah.
another thing is that Ted Wells admitted that the NFL, no one in the NFL office really took the Colts' initial complaint seriously, which I find extremely concerning.
Well, the NFL doesn't take anything seriously.
Well, the NFL is a joke. The NFL office is a complete joke. Um, but so, like,
They make a lot of money
if
though.
they didn't take it seriously enough beforehand, why? What changed when they said, "Oh, this is actually really important" in the middle of the game and after the game? Like, if they thought it was really this important, they should have just stopped it from the beginning and prevented this whole thing from happening.
I don't think they wanted to do that during the Super Bowl week, but that's
No, no,
just-
no. That's before the AFC Championship game, Brian.
What do you mean before
Like,
the AFC?
The Colts
we didn't really
before
know
the
anything
AFC
about this.
Championship game emailed the NFL expressing concerns of the PSI levels in the Patriots football. If the NFL really thought it was that important to the integrity of the league, which is an absolute, the NFL throws around the I word, integrity word, as freely as a teenage girl throws around the L word. Like, seriously.
The word is love for the record.
Right, yeah. So,
I was trying to think what else it could be.
I thought you were gonna say
but
like,
so,
because
if they
teenage
really
girls
thought
say
it
like
was
all
this
the time.
important, they should have notified the Patriots, told them about their concerns, and this whole thing would have been squashed before it even began. And the first half of the AFC Championship game wouldn't have been compromised at all. And actually, I think the NFL might have given the Colts a favor, because who knows what the score would have been if Tom Brady would have been using real, like, actual footballs for both halves, you know? Since he scored 28 points in the second half and was 11 of 13 in the second half. I mean,
Was
I'm
it?
just
Okay.
saying.
Did you see what Jon Stewart said about all this? He had the
No.
funniest. He had the funniest line I think I've ever heard. He said, "Tom, what are you doing? You play for the Patriots, a team named after America's most cherished post 9/11 Security Act."
Funny.
I thought that was the funniest thing. I thought it was the funniest thing I've ever heard.
I'm gonna miss Jon Stewart.
And
Yeah,
and he made a good point, and I'll admit that he's right in this. That he said that if you think that if Tom Brady was playing for the Giants, that I would probably be okay with this, you are correct. And I was like, yep, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, if this was any other team, if this was the Redskins if this was the Redskins, no one would give a damn about this. Like, literally, this is only because
Well, no one would notice if it was the Redskins because the Redskins don't win games.
what?
No one would
Redskins
notice if it
don't
was
win
the
games.
Redskins because the Redskins don't win games.
Yeah, that's
Like,
well, I mean,
people-
that
Like if you
kinda
win a
does
game,
my
you
point.
if you no, but if you win a game, you're not gonna complain that the other team was deflating a football.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, the only reason this is such a big thing is because the Patriots
It's
were
the
doing it in the
Patriots.
AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
So if the Redskins were doing it in the NFC Championship game, yeah, it would be just as big as.
No, but I don't think the fact that it was an AFC Championship game or a regular season game, I don't think that
Oh, it don't.
made a difference. I mean, it might have made a little bit of a difference, but the NFL clearly doesn't care
I mean-
about the PSI levels of a football, because if they really did, they would have stopped this from the beginning and avoided this whole mess that everyone is sick of talking about and hearing about.
I'm so done
I mean,
with this. I'm just done with Roger Goodell in general, to be honest. I personally think that the punishment is a little. I mean, I think it's a little extreme. I think Brady should have been suspended, but I think the fine and losing the 2 draft picks is a little much. And if I'm Tom Brady, I was talking to Ethan, Wayne. I was talking to Wayne about last night, and we both agreed. We both hate the Patriots, and we agreed that Tom Brady should sue the NFL.
For defamation of character.
Yeah, we
Not
think he'd have
only
a pretty
the
good
NFL,
lawsuit.
but the 4-letter network that has promoted the NFL's agenda, anti-Patriots agenda, ESPN.
Yet they've hired like 6 former Patriots.
Well, Teddy Bruschi and Damian Woody.
Teddy Bruschi
Woody's more of a Jet than anything.
Teddy Bruschi is not neutral in all this either.
No,
by the way. He's never been neutral.
I agree. I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying Damian Woody's more of a Jet than anything. But anyway,
because Sanchez ran right into his asshole.
But
I don't understand. First of all, why anybody really cares that the Patriots deflated football, and second of all, I really don't understand why the Patriots fans are complaining, because all the Patriots do is win, and all the Patriots fans do is complain, and it's just utterly ridiculous.
Well, I mean, this is how.
Can't you just be happy with this?
Exactly.
This is more similar.
Literally 2 days after you guys won the Super Bowl, you started complaining again. It's banana land. It's absolutely banana land, to use a phrase from the Boston.
Yeah, phrase. But I mean, really, this transgression is more comparable to when a major league pitcher scuffs the baseball or uses pine tar illegally, and a pitcher gets suspended 1 start, 5 games, 1 start.
How much did Pineda get last year for that? I can't even remember.
He missed 1 start.
Yeah, and then he got hurt.
Yeah. So really, I don't see how that justifies a 4-game suspension or even a 1-game suspension. I mean, if you want to come down hard on the Patriots, fine them a ton of money, not $1 million, because that's
this is
fine them $100,000 because really the punishment exceeded the crime.
This is going.
Patriots are upset about.
You guys are always upset. This
isn't protesting.
You guys are always upset. I don't know, but this is going way over time. We need to go into the walk-off.
All right.
Formerly known as the final word.
Yeah.
Ethan, since you're on a roll, you wanna go first?
Okay. So, I made the baseball analogy earlier about the messing with the PSI levels in the football, similar to scuffing a baseball or using pine tar illegally. Well, now because of Deflategate, and it's now come over into Major League Baseball. And now Major League Baseball is upping their security of the baseballs before the game, which I think is completely bananas. Like, it's outrageous. Like, the world is literally losing their mind. Because how the hell are you going to mess with a baseball before the game? It's a lot harder to do. It's a lot harder to do than a football or a basketball because you can actually take air out of it. A baseball is a solid sphere. There's no way you would be able to mess with the baseball without anyone knowing before the game. If anyone messes with the baseball, it's during the game, and then you just throw the balls out. So it's just completely bananas. Major League Baseball is going a little bit overkill. There's no need to up ball security of baseballs. And the average lifespan of a baseball is about 3 to 4 pitches. So,
If that.
yeah, if that. So really, it's not worth the time and resources that Major League Baseball is going to put into this. It's just ridiculous. That's my walk off.
Yeah, I think football is really the only sport where you can alter the balls in any way, can't you? I mean, obviously baseball with the contour or whatever, but
yeah,
I mean,
leading up to the game, the quarterbacks are allowed to break in the footballs and get them to how they like them. And really, I think they should just get rid of that entire rule altogether because each quarterback likes their footballs a different way, and I really don't think it gives any quarterback an unfair advantage.
Yeah.
Because each quarterback likes the football differently. So really, it's a moot point. It's more like a baseball player breaking in their glove to the way that they like it.
All right.
All right, Brian?
Well, my rant this week is about guarantees in sports and how they need to stop. Specifically, last night, going into Game 7 of the Capitals-Rangers series, Alex Ovechkin guaranteed that the Capitals – I don't know if he didn't say the words, I guarantee the victory, but he basically did. He said they're going to go to the Madison Square Garden and win. And he was wrong. So, in my opinion, I think every athlete who thinks that they're like some bravado leader needs to stop with these guarantees. It really doesn't do anything because most of the time when a team guarantees a win, they end up losing like Ovechkin did last night. Now Ovechkin just looks like a dummy for guarantee. Like, why can't you just be confident and say, yeah, I think we got a really good chance? Like, you don't need to say, yeah, we're going to win this. It's cool that he's showing that confidence, but when you're wrong like he was last night, you need to. I think we need to just stop doing these guarantees. I mean, really, there's only 2 people in sports history who I can think of that have made accurate guarantees. One of them being Joe Namath in the Super Bowl, the other being Mark Messier, 1994 New York Rangers. So I think everybody needs to all these. I mean, we've seen it so many times now. People guaranteeing victories, and so many times they're wrong. So I think it's time that everybody just cools it on the guarantees and just be confident, but you don't need to be public about it like Ovechkin was. That's my walk-off.
I agree with you, but I think most of it is the fault of the media for asking like such dumb leading questions. Like I didn't see Ovechkin or hear Ovechkin guarantee it. Like, I heard he did guarantee it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure the media just blew it way out of proportion. Like,
Yeah.
Obviously Ovechkin's going to say he thinks he's going to win the game. Obviously. Yeah. But, I don't know.
They made it seem like it was this great guarantee that he had made.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Russian guarantee.
Yeah.
Whatever. Was down behind him. But I just hate the media. I mean, and that's a perfect segue to my walk-off. The media is just absolutely ridiculous. They've been blowing Deflategate out of proportion since the beginning of time. They've been blowing everything out of proportion. And, I mean...
Yep, I agree.
But that's just what happens when you have 24 hours to fill in a TV station. That's what SportsCenter is doing. That's what ESPN is doing. They have 24 hours to kill, so what do you think they're going to talk about all the time?
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much stories that they can talk about, especially in the summer when it's kind of a dead time in sports. It's just baseball and so
right now it's the playoffs, but still
it's. I mean, baseball really hasn't gone underway yet. I mean, it's in May now, so we're a month and a half into it, but I mean, still.
The Astros are the best team in baseball.
Yeah.
Hey.
It doesn't start to get going until June.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, thank God, because the Yankees are doing good right now. The Royals aren't doing so well.
Yeah, same with the Red Sox in the same boat, Sean. I think the Red Sox and Orioles are like in 4th and 5th place respectively
Yeah.
in the AL East.
All
All
right.
right, I guess that's the.
That's the show. Thank you all for joining me.
Stop saying me. You did it again.
Oh shit, I did. Thank you all for joining us. We're sticking with the Bob Dylan theme today, ending with Like a Rolling Stone. We'll see you guys next time.
Wait, what
Let's
about
go
the
Rangers.
Soul song?
No, it's not gonna happen.
Let's go Rangers.
Yeah, I guess let's